Folks, welcome to the Lasham briefing on the 8th of June. Lovely and sunny out there and warm already, 15, 16 degrees. It's been quite a nice day, that's for sure. Let's just have a quick look and see what it's going to be like for a gliding day. You can see is the midday chart. The high pressure, it's just keeping everything at bay, feeding the fronts in across to the north, very cloudy over Ireland and Scotland. And these are all just decaying features. It looks like it'll remain that way for much of the week, really. Jet stream is just far enough away that it's not driving this lot across us. So shaping up quite nicely, very, very clear air mass. The TAFs, it's always good when you see a short line, Farnborough, between sort of 7 and 4 o'clock this afternoon, 235 knots. Yeah, very, very light westerly drift, southwesterly really, on the ground. 10k viz, obviously there's a little bit of fog burning off in places already, and they're suggesting few at 4,000 feet. I think there will be small amounts of cumulus here and there during the day, but mainly blue, to be honest. Gatwick and Heathrow, a bit longer, but they cover 24 hours. Upper winds, again, southwesterly. And you can see from the sat pic, the drift is basically westerly, and the upper air mass and the bits of cirrus that are rolling through. Sat pic over us is fairly clear. These are all the sort of weather fronts out here over Ireland and then up over Scotland. Within that, there's bits of fog that are burning off here. I drove through some this morning, and that won't take long to go. The infrared shows some small areas of quite high cirrus, very thin cirrus, just drifting across us during the day in a sort of west to east direction, but nothing particularly to worry about. So it means that temperatures are building quite nicely. To say, I think it was 15 degrees at Lasham already. Max today, BBC was suggesting about 22, which I think it'll be around there over us, and a bit further north as well. So if you work on 21, 22 degrees. Dew points, well, they're around about 9s, 10s now, going up, but I think they'll be coming back down to about 6 during the afternoon. Once the thermal mixing starts, they'll plummet fairly quickly. Should hold around 6 degrees, I would have thought. So very, very good temperature split, and it means with a dry air mass that I think the tendency is essentially blue, and you can see that from the sounding with the odd bits of cumulus. So the afternoon sounding over here, plugging in, that's just 21 degrees. You should see 4.5, at least above sea level, maybe 5. But it's predicting to be quite sort of dry in here. These two lines are well spaced apart. Dew points down here, if they're 6, and you follow the line up here, they're not really going to meet. I think there's chances of cumulus. I think 1/8 in places, but not a sort of wall-to-wall cumulus day. The actual Larkhill sounding this morning shows at the moment there's a sort of coming together of the lines here, so there's a bit of moisture at about 3,000 feet, but it requires something like 17 degrees here to break this inversion and get some mixing. And then these two lines will come apart as the day goes on, and with 20 degrees you're looking at around 1,400 meters here. Dew points, it's suggesting here are overnight 10 degrees, but they'll be down here, I would have thought, 6 to 7s. So small chance of cumulus, but only a very small one. Top meteo, similar sort of thing. They're reckoning it's going to be soarable by 11 o'clock. Yeah, I would have thought it's a good chance of that. Get some thermal mixing by then. And up to once it goes, it will go to 3,000 feet. And then as the morning and then early afternoon progresses, 1,400 meters, and stays like that for most of the afternoon. They're sort of saying 1,600 meters around here, so 5,000 feet in here and up towards the northeast in this area here, back towards Cambridge, and should go on till at least 5 o'clock, I would have thought. Showing it sort of changing here to the south of us. Yeah, I suspect we're going to see some sea air slowly creeping its way in. So by 4 or 5 o'clock, we should see a pronounced southwesterly flow, and the sort of start of the sea air, I would have thought. May well mean that flying later on, we end up on 2-3 if the wind's too strong. Cumulus amounts. And you can see they're showing small amounts of cumulus initially. Upper cloud here in various places. I think it's fairly thin. Won't be a problem. And they're showing just occasional bits of cumulus as the morning and early afternoon goes on. You can see that's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I think, folks, predominantly blue, chances of small cumulus, small wisps of cumulus during the day, and bits of high cirrus just drifting past as the day goes on. So yeah, good day. The suggested task distance, top meteo is pretty upbeat on a mainly blue day. Lots of greens. So I would have thought good for sensibly 300 to 400k. They're suggesting 5 to 6 in an area really slightly to the west of us, down towards sort of Sherborne area, and then in this area up here towards Cambridge and beyond. Okay, so good day in prospect, folks. Sunny all day. Don't forget the sun hat, sunblock, and drink plenty of water. Airspace wise, actually not really a lot going on. Danger area here is activated for a couple of hours this morning between 10 and 12. A bit odd, but it is activated, I think, all day tomorrow, as with the other danger areas. On Salisbury Plain, the UAV flying out of Keevil, activated today from 8:30 in the morning till 5:30 in the evening. And that's restricted airspace, a temporary danger area. You can go in if you get clearance from Boscombe Down. And their frequency is 126.7. Parachuting at Little Rissington, but that's not until 4 o'clock this afternoon until 10 o'clock tonight. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for anybody particularly. And parachuting at Holton Barracks. It's pretty much under air, quite low airspace there. It's not normally an area where people venture too close to, but it's all day from 9 till 7 o'clock this evening. And the usual bit of airspace has popped up again around Sywell. That's basically no time to the end of the month, and there's various slots between 11 and 11:20, 1 and 1:20, and 3 and 3:20. So they've got aerobatics going on. I suspect that might be something to do with the Blades formation aerobatic team, but busy there. Apart from that, as you can see, quite quiet, usual stuff down in the channel. And just a quick notification, that's all the stuff that starts tomorrow that's associated with the G7 down in Cornwall. So I think you basically can't go beyond about Oakhampton from tomorrow unless you want to be shot down. Operationally, we're going to go on 2.7. The wind's going to be fairly light for most of the day. I can see there's a grid out there. If it gets big enough, we'll launch the grid. If it's less than half a dozen gliders, then you know what, folks, just tow to the main runway, because there's no jet movements, no Navajos. So we'll be on the main runway all day. And I'll be out there fairly shortly with the launch point vehicle. Okay, folks, hopefully see you out there.